So hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me out on the bank and we're in search of pike. Before we do get into this week's video, just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that subscribes to the channel, leaves the comments down below and joins us every Friday for the new video. The support on the channel really is appreciated and thank you all very much. So in the past week it has begun to feel a bit like the pike season. The temperatures have begun to drop in the morning. There's been a bit of rain about and it's just got that cool nip in the air. I'm super excited today to be out in search of pike, and I do wish all you lads who are beginning your journey the best of luck this year, and I hope you all have a fantastic pike season. So as you can see on screen now, it's a beautiful morning to be on the bank. All the awesome colours are in the trees, the leaves in the margin, and it's just beginning to feel like that perfect time of year. So the pike season and winter is something you all know I look forward to the most, and I couldn't wait to get out on the bank in search of pike. Unfortunately for me though, it's been a bit of a drab start. The floats have remained motionless. I went on my first ever session with Willow, as you can see on screen now. A beautiful morning on the banks of the canal, but unfortunately, them floats remain motionless. It has been quite a cruel start, to be honest with you. We went up to the banks of the River Ribble and we were absolutely battered by pike taking the fish, and I hadn't took a pike rod. It seemed every time I went out for pike, nothing would happen. But if I didn't take a pike rod, they were all over me. With all that happening, I'm arriving on the bank this morning, and I must admit, quite low on confidence for me. I'm normally quite an optimistic guy, and yeah, it has been a tough start, but I've been here before, and experience teaches me, just keep doing the things you're doing, and it'll all come good. So I've got two rods set up today, both exactly the same. The Fox Predator Elite X, and on there, I've got a reel with 65-pound braid. And they are the Zelos reels from Cornham. You see there, it's a 12-foot rod, 3.25-pound test curve. So the actual setups that we're using, I'll go over when I bring them in. But we've got a float ledger out there, nice and simple. I've covered it a lot on the channel. And then just to the right, we've got the ledger. And no matter how low your confidence is of a bite, always do the basics. Have your area set up ready to go in case you get one. Pike fishing, when you're unhooking them, is all about being prepared. So there I've got all the equipment I need. I've got the bolt cutters in the side box. Looking at the baits we brought with us today, got a few in there. I always keep it nice and simple. Smelt is my trusted bait. Got some mackerel, some natural baits and a few bream. Again, didn't know what venue I was coming to today. You know, I might have had to travel elsewhere. Got some herring and some beautiful sardines. All these from Devon Baits, and thank you very much to the guys over there for supporting the channel again this winter. You can see the quality of the bait. It doesn't need any words really, does it? So as you've just seen there, just changed over to a different lure, and pike has smashed it on the way in, took me by surprise. And the first pike on a lure that I never ever thought I'd be casting in, and that is a big orange lure. So as you know on the channel, I don't do much lure fishing, but I've been trying my best to get back into it. And a few weeks ago I put an order in for a lure, bright orange, and I thought when it come quite big, put it on then, second cast I think it was, and this pike, just under £10, has nailed it. What a lovely start to the day, and hopefully them dead bait rods are going to scream off as well. So we'll take a closer look at that lure that I was talking about. I'll put some writing on screen now to the name of it. I've hooked it up like that with a harness, nice and simple. And yeah, I was casting a few lures about. I'm not the best lure angler in the world. I did a lot when I was a kid, to be honest with you, and had some success, but in later years it's just something that I've not done much of, but I really want to get back into it. Just started moving away. I'm in. I was just saying about float fishing for pike, how the float can just come alive, and it's exactly what happened. It looks like a nice one. We'll just tease him in. So there we go, there's the pike unhooked. Having a good rest in the edge before we do a vlog. Always important. You can see there, nice pike. Again, maybe similar size, a bit bigger, so it could go in double figures. Nice back on it. You can just see the camouflage there. You're lining that weed. And there we go, the second pike of the day. Just over £11, a beautiful pike. Nice, beautiful colours. And yeah, lovely to see that float dance away. One on the lure, one on the float. We just need now one on the ledger, don't we, to complete the hat trick. So one of the beauties of this place is once you've rested the pike, you can get it out the net and just hold it in the water till it's ready to go. You see the leaves on the bottom, the pike season's here. Bit of weed and that beautiful camouflage. You're waiting for it to start kicking like that. A few strong kicks and off it goes. So I've just been bringing the ledger in and had a bang on the way in. It's been very quiet on it. I was going to put it in deeper water. Just going to let it rest there, see if the pike picks it up. I definitely just had a bang on the way in, and you can see there the pike's picked it up. I'm going to hit it, see if we can get a pike on the ledger. And take my time now, try and get it in, because there are some snags. You see there's got a bit of weed on it as well. It shows the weed closer in. It's not the biggest pike, but that weed is heavy. See the line there moving through the... Just take a time, just try and get this pike in. Be great to get one on each method. So there we go, how your luck can change, eh? From sitting there with the rods not going and cursing your luck at times, and you think, what am I doing wrong? And then you have them moments of luck, reeling in the ledger, I felt a bang, let the line pull off nicely. And I did think it was more weed than pike to begin with, but that is a lovely pike, that. That is a cracking pike. It's a decent pike, that. We'll give him a good rest, we'll get some of the weed out the net, I'll have a rest, and we'll take a look at it. What a beautiful pike. So there we go, what a moment of luck that was. Reeling in that dead bait on the ledger, felt that bang, and it just shows how your luck can change. This morning coming on the bank, I had hardly any confidence, you know, the floats would move. It's been tough, but then fishing can always reward you if you persevere. There we go, good rest before she goes back, and then beautiful colours. So I'll quickly go over my setup while I've got the ledger out the water. Use the ledger stems from Fox, nice and simple. That line there comes from my main line. It goes through there onto a quick change swivel. My homemade wire trace down to a dead bait. You can see there the ledger stem, got a low resistance, big eye on it. The idea is that the heavy lead, which is a 3-ounce gripper, stays in place and the line moves freely through the top of it. Because that's buoyant, that will sit above any weed like that on the bottom. Again, reducing the risk of any weed getting stuck here where the pike's going to feel that resistance. For those new, you cast your rig in, you leave your bail arm open and tighten up the spool through this arm here, so the spool's completely open. And one little tip, you want your rod pointing directly at your dead bait, because that's going to give as least resistance as possible when it takes. You don't want the pike to the right, pulling against the tip of your rod, and it'll let go of the bait. So just put the ledger back out, and it is beeping away on a proper take. Just seen there the ledger rod scream off, and there was nothing there when I struck, the bait had gone. I was just setting it up again, turned round, and the float ledger has screamed off. And what a beautiful backdrop to play a pike. I feel the biggest, but in this deep water you just never know till they realise something's wrong. Over the years, the amount of times that I've had action in a period of nothing, you know, to me, they have periods where they just turn on and the conditions are just right for them as a species. And the lovely boils there of a pike. And of all the methods, the float ledger on a pencil, when it's flat calm, is by far my favourite. So one fiery pike is resting in the margins, and yeah, I was unhooking it, and it happens in piking. It twisted and its gill cover caught me. It looks a lot worse than it is, and new to piking, if it happens, it will settle down and stop bleeding. It's just the anticoagulant in their saliva that keeps the blood flowing for a bit. So yeah, pike's resting in the margin, number 4. And I'll sort myself out. But while I'm sorting this out, leave in the comments down below whether you think it's coincidence or whether there are feeding patterns when it comes to pike and all fish. So this morning when we arrived, I took a jack and I said, yes please, thank you very much, just any take, to get 1 on the lure and 4 pike in total, 3 of them doubles. The first one a high single, more than made up. And yeah, if anything, this video just shows if you are struggling, just stick with it, keep doing what you're doing, and fishing will do the rest. Doesn't matter how feisty or aggressive they are on the bank, you've got to give them a good rest in the margin until they're ready. You know, they can really be feisty on the bank but not be ready. You can see there that pike trying to get out the net is ready to go. So I'm really quickly just going to go over the basic lures that I've picked up and why. So any lure fishing that I've done has been mainly on these 2 lures here. Replicants, nice and simple, and you cast them in, you reel them in. I've had success on the canal on that one, and over the years I've had a bit of success on them as well. When I was thinking about this year, I wanted lures that I could cast into various venues, rivers, lakes and canals, and offer different retrieves. So different colours, you can see there, clear water, got a different colour, all on the same principle. This one here, I want to be casting into rivers where I'm not scared of losing it. You know, it's basic, it's just a screw top and a rattle. You're not losing much gain if you lose it on the bottom. And that lure, I've had some success, and I've had that for years, that one, and I do love that lure. So lure fishing rods was a bit of a minefield for me, so I just stuck to me liking replicants and picking up a rod that was dedicated to them. So you can see I've picked up the Replicant Special 230 centimetre and 40 to 120 gram. It's going to do everything I need it to do to cast them lures. The thing that I've picked up is some fluorocarbon leaders. I've always used wire in the past, but speaking to a friend, he put me onto these. So the rods are back out and I'm just looking at that float now, just sitting on the mill pond water. It is a beautiful day to be on the bank. The hand has healed up and dried up, and I've put some antiseptic on it, and I'm just sitting back now and chilling out. The rods now I'm just going to leave in situ for an hour or so, just to see if anything's in the area, and then I'm going to bring one of them in and have another go with the lure. It's one of the things that I love about piking, how it goes from utter chaos to calm. So it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon and my peace has been disturbed again. I've got to take on the ledger. Lots of that dreaded head shaking. You know, them battles when you got a pike on and you just feel like it's not going to get in because of the head shaking. Just got to keep that tension on and hope we get this pike in. One thing you can guarantee with these pike, they're angry, they've got power. See there, he's found a weed bed like the other one. I'm just going to slowly tease it in towards the bank. There he goes again. That's great fun. And again, plenty of time given for recovery before it's blocked, resting in the margin, put up a great fight on that ledger, but you give them the respect they deserve, and what beautiful colours this one's got. So the action today has been consistent all day. I couldn't have wished for more. It's been an amazing day by the bank. One of them sessions where you really need it as an angler, you know, to get your eye back in and get you that confidence. All the fish today have had quality and have been beautiful fish. This one again, creeping into double figures, and yeah, I've really enjoyed it. Completes the 3 methods, definitely, on the ledger, the float and the lure. And again, after it's been blogged, a good rest, and this one's more than ready to go back. You can see there, gills ticking over. So conditions today have really gone in our favour, I feel. It was due to be cloudy and sunshine, and it's been more cloudy than it has been sun. And now coming towards the end of the session, you can see beautiful conditions. So I just brought the other float rod in for the moment and thought I'll go with the lure. and changed over to that natural lure. We got the second fish of the day on the lure, and we won't bother holding this one up for camera. He's only a little jack. He's in good condition. You can see here the condition on the pike, you know, been feeding well. You see a mark down there where a bigger pike might have had hold of it, but yeah, pike number 6, and that one has got them yellow golden colours. So it's just coming up to 5 o'clock, and I thought felt perfect for the bite and maybe one more, and I was beginning to think it might not happen, but then the ledger just banged out the clip. And the pike in the net, and different waters present you with challenges, and this water definitely is this stuff. You've got to find the gaps, and you've got to keep the pressure on when playing the pike. They know what they're doing. So coming towards the end of the session now, it's about 5 o'clock. I was just sat there thinking the session was just going to drift towards its end. Beautiful way to end the session. The rods are still out behind me, and hopefully there's time for one more, but super happy to get this beautiful pike straight back. When we arrived on the bank this morning, I had a settle for 1 pike. To get 7 and 2 drop runs, more than made up. And we're finishing the session with the unhooking sling, or the waist sling, drying behind me. Says it all. I really do hope you've enjoyed this week's vlog. It'd really be great if you could like and subscribe to the channel, because it really does help the videos out. So all that remains now is to say thank you very much for watching, and wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.